Hi, my name is Maurice. I'm here with SmokeRiot.com. Today I'm going to be making about 16 quarts of my brisket chili. Initially, I was going to smoke the brisket and then put it in the chili, but per the rules for a chili cook-off that I'll be in early October, I actually have to cook the chili or cook the meat on site. So therefore, I'll be using the two Camp Dutch ovens by Lodge to cook most of the ingredients. I'm gonna cook some beans in my 7-quart regular Dutch oven and put it all together. Take both of these things to work and let some of my co-workers taste it and see how they feel about it all. So stay tuned.
Alright, so here I have all of the separate ingredients for the main ingredient of the chili, which is the chili powder. I usually start with about 1 tablespoon of everything that you see in front of you here, in addition to 1 tablespoon of kosher salt and 1 tablespoon of cracked black pepper. And the ending result should look a little like this. It looks to be about I'd say about a cup of chili powder combined in there. I'm going to use all of that today for the approximately 16 quarts of chili that I'll be making. So we are looking at about a 16-pound whole brisket. I'm actually going to separate the flat from the point. I'm going to use mostly point meat for the chili, and I'm going to remove the flat and use it for some sandwiches and things of that nature. So right at this little fat area here basically is the separating point that gives you your flat versus your point. So I'm going to chop the point off, cut it down a little bit, grind it up, add a few things, let it marinate overnight, and then we'll start that for the chili first thing tomorrow morning. All right, so this is the outcome of the whole beef brisket that we had. Actually sliced separated the point from the flat. This is mostly part of the point muscle in here that I just ground up. Added a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. I can never say that quite correctly. Added a little bit of that with about a bunch of cilantro, and we just mixed it up. We let it set overnight, about 10 hours. This will be the second thing that we begin to cook once we begin making the chili. Alright, here we have a combination of black beans, pinto beans, and red kidney beans. I let them soak overnight in some of this Great Lakes Oktoberfest. This is the beer of choice that we're going to base this chili in today. So these have soaked overnight about, I would say, 10 hours or so, right at that sweet spot. So I don't think I'm gonna use all of these beans, but I'm gonna use a pretty big portion of them, and I'll put them in with the beer. I did add a little bit of water because they seem to really enjoy the beer, and it was a lot of it was gone this morning when I first woke up, so I added a little bit of water.
Alright, so we're getting ready to put together the first step as far as the cooking process goes for the chili. I've got a bowl full of beans on the left. I've got black beans, pinto beans, and red kidney beans. Again, I've got my 7-quart Lodge Dutch oven. I've got a Dutch oven lid stand, and I've got a charcoal chimney full of almost fully lit charcoal there in the back. I'm going to let that heat up for maybe another 5 minutes or so. Pour it around that lid stand. I'm going to set the 7-quart Dutch oven on top of that, pour the beans in, and then to give that about an hour to cook, and then we'll start with the meat part of the chili. Well, Contrary to popular belief, there are two things that rain does not stop. One of those being barbecue, the other being football. As you can see, I am in the midst of a pretty significant storm going on. So I broke down the cooking area that I had out on in my backyard sidewalk, and I just kind of condensed it down to these cinder blocks, stacked it up high, and just stuck the regular Dutch oven on top of a camp Dutch oven. Of course, nothing was in the camp Dutch oven as of yet. I'm actually letting charcoal start so that I can get the brisket going. Because like I said before, a little bit of rain is not going to stop this operation. Let's check in and see what our beans are looking like. They've been cooking for maybe about, let's say, an hour, maybe a little over an hour so far. I'm gonna let these cook for about 20 more minutes. So basically, I'm just gonna wait until my next batch of charcoal is good and lit. I'll remove these, set them aside, and then install the brisket. And once that's cooked up, we'll put it all together. Alright, so I've got the ground brisket inside of the Dutch oven here. I've been cooking at this for about the past just 4 or 5 minutes, not too long. It seems to be browning up pretty quickly. I'm not gonna, as I said before, my intentions aren't to overcook this beef. I just want to cook it good enough to, where I can safely just, place it in with the rest of the ingredients, and then allow the cook process of the chili to take over, so that all those wonderful chili powder flavors and whatnot are imparted into the beef, and all the goodness just comes together the way that it's supposed to. But yeah, I'm gonna let this brown up probably another 6 or 7 minutes, and from there we'll start deglazing the tomato paste, and then we'll be down the home stretch. Alright, so this part of the process, I'm going to start deglazing the pot here with the tomato paste. I'm just going to start with a little bit of olive oil. I already have some in there. And got a couple of cans here of tomato paste. So I'm going to get that inside of there. So the purpose of this is just to let this tomato paste brown up. That way it'll extract some of the sugars and things like that, and it's just a trick that I've seen some professional chefs do that just enhances the flavor of this otherwise pretty bland tasting tomato paste. So I'm going to do 2 whole cans here since I'm doing quite a bit of chili. And as an added flavor mechanism, I'm going to also add in some diced garlic. So there's about 2 bulbs of garlic. Throw that in there. So I'm going to let this simmer for about no more than 5 minutes, and then I'll start chopping up my onions and peppers and adding that in with it. Alright, so it's just about time to start finishing up the aromatics and flavor combination part of the cook. I wanted to save that part, or save some of the more key ingredients for the absolute last. So what I'm going to start with is a 12-ounce bottle of the Great Lakes Oktoberfest. Same thing, I soaked and cooked the beans in. Just going to pour that in there. It'll start to meld with the tomato paste as well as the peppers and onions that I've gotten in there. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add my can of Hunt's fire roasted and diced tomatoes. Drop those in there like so. And last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and add in all that chili powder that we made up earlier. dump that on in there. I've actually got a couple more one more bottle of beer and two more cans of tomatoes that I'm going to throw in here too. So I'll do those after we cut away. But I'm just going to start to mix, and you can really see that look of nice homemade chili starting to come together right here. So after this part of the process, I'm going to add in my meat and beans. I'm going to split it between the two Camp Dutch ovens, set up a cooking stand, and let them simmer for a couple hours. Alright, so if you've been following all the way through to now, you'll notice that basically what happened was I cooked up the chili in three different parts. So, up top I've got my beans there, bottom left I've got my ground beef brisket, and bottom right I've got the base with the tomato paste and tomatoes, peppers, onions, chili powder, garlic, a few other pieces of aromatics in there. And what I'm going to do now is basically I'm going to combine these three things and make 2 pots of chili. The more I look at it, I see I got quite a lot of beans there, as well as, there's got to be about 6 or 7 pounds worth of beef brisket down there, and a rather large batch of tomato base. So there's a very, very high likelihood that I will be making 3 pots of chili as opposed to 2 as I originally intended, but no harm, no foul. I'm sure I'll find a way to get rid of it somewhere. Alright, well, if you can't tell, there's a harmony of cicadas behind me. I'm not sure which annual species or breed this is this year, but anyhow, it's about 8:30 p.m. I've got both of the 8-quart Dutch ovens about filled, with the exception I left about 2 inches of room from the top because I didn't want the charcoals on the top to build up too much heat pressure inside of there and scorch the chili. But anyhow, I've got charcoal on the very bottom, on the top of the first Dutch oven, and then on top of the second Dutch oven there. So basically what I'm going to do from here is I'm just going to let these simmer as they may. Once I see that the charcoal begins to break down and it's just not really producing much more heat, I'm going to go ahead and be done with it. And furthermore, we'll do the important part of taste testing all this. Alright, it's been about 2 hours. About 1 hour ago at 9:30 p.m. I came out and I flip-flopped the Dutch ovens here. I took the one that was on the bottom and put it on the top, and obviously vice versa. And so now we're at the moment of truth. Pull the lid off of here, take a look at what has happened thus far. That looks pretty good. No scorch marks. Looks thick as it should be. Get in there and stir it up just a little bit. Alright, like I said, it's looking really good. It's got a beautiful tint to it. Move it around, everything looks like it just meshed really, really well together. I don't feel anything sticking anywhere in the Dutch oven here. Yeah, this looks wonderful. I can't wait to let it cool down just a little bit and actually give it a shot. Considering that it's 10:30 p.m., I might not be having a try until lunchtime tomorrow. But anyhow, I am very, very ecstatic about the way that this came out, and I really, really look forward to replicating this entire process for the chili cook-off in October. I think that with a little bit of added care and effort, and like I said, there's going to be a little bit more time involved in making chili this way, but God, it's so much easier than just about any other way that I've tried to do it. So this will definitely be a go-to chili technique for me. Thank you for watching. All the ingredients and step-by-step instructions will be posted. They'll be on the website. There will be an accompanying link after the video. Thank you.